Hey there, and welcome back. I'm David Begor, and this is Friends, Loves, and Life. In this episode, I am talking with my dear friend, Rich Hajjar. We talk about the crazy days of launching Sex for Hot Men in the early 2000s to more personal events like the day I adopted my son, Leo. From laughter-filled memories in LA and Palm Springs to Rich's powerful story of surviving childhood abuse, coming out, and finding love and purpose in his life. Rich speaks candidly about his health, living with HIV, coping with loss, aging as a gay man, and why he believes showing up fully as yourself is the best thing you can do in this world. This episode is full of heart, and I'm so grateful to share this conversation with you. Please note that this episode contains discussions of childhood sexual abuse and suicide. Please skip ahead if necessary. Here is my conversation with my friend, Rich Hajjar. Hello, Rich Hajjar.
Hello, David Begor. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Welcome to my show.
Well, I'm so glad I'm able to be here. I always love chatting with you.
I talked a little bit to Mike about this when I had him on the other day, and we were so close, the three of us, when all living in LA at the same time. I mean, we were together all the time.
Exactly. Like
And
we did, me doing all the working with you guys, doing all the marketing and stuff, and
we had a lot of fun. But I was, and I'll ask you the same thing I asked Mike, because that last year was rough for everything that had happened. What was that?
But, we all loved each other. It was like, it was what I don't know how to say it. It was loved by fire, I guess. I don't know how you and Mike managed to be civil with one another after being through all that shit that you had to go through, but
Yeah.
you live through it.
Yeah, I think for Mike and I, we made it was fun working together, like always just making each other laugh and talking. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess I wondered for you, like, how did you feel as that came to an end?
I felt bad for Mike. I felt bad for you as well, because you were just starting out a whole brand new life on your own with a baby.
Yeah. A baby, a 2 month. Well, at that time he was already a year and a half old, but
I know, but still, the way I felt then, when you two were working together, I really believed in Sex for Hot Men, and I thought that the website was the best thing since sliced bread. I was so happy for you guys to do something fun and innovative, and you guys were kicking ass in the beginning. It was doing
yeah,
great.
it was.
And it was just so sad that I don't want to mention his name.
He who shall not be named.
Baltimore. Oh God! And I shaved his back.
That was San Diego Pride, wasn't that San Diego?
Come play with our balls was my sleep. Was my.
That's too funny.
Remember, we were filling the beach balls with helium, and they
Yes.
shoot across like the huge Balboa Park.
That's right. We had them made with Sex for Hot Men on them. That's
Yes.
right. I had forgotten about that.
Come play with our balls. About you and Mike's relationship, I don't know how you two remained friends, because money destroys everybody usually, but you guys kind of made it work. You understood each other. I think you both legitimately cared for each other, and you put the money to the side. I think for me,
that wasn't. I don't think that was the most important thing.
No, your friendship was more important than the money.
Yeah.
Which in any partnership is what it should be anyway. that was the early 2000s, like 2003, 2004.
During when we had that business?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2002 to 2007 ish, around
Wow.
that time. Yeah,
Holy hell.
I know it's a long time ago.
I can't believe it's that long ago. It seems like yesterday. I remember we did all those parties in Vegas. We had so much fun. Um,
Yeah. Oh my God, that's right. We went to that big disco in
yes.
Vegas.
That, what was it called? I forget the
I
name of
can't
the place.
remember. It
Oh,
was.
Crave.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was called Crave with a K. And that guy, some guy David was like the general manager, and we had we had a bottle service at our table, and we oh my god,
I'm sure we got smashed. I don't
oh a
remember.
little bit, un poquito fucked up. But no, I mean those we were so young and we didn't have anything to lose. So I think that was how I felt. It was like it was still the .com era, and we were still feeling like things could happen, and
Yeah,
it was a lot of possibility going on. And I was still only working 4 days a week, so I didn't give a shit.
I remember that. Yeah. It's
So
funny when I think about it now how crazy I mean, if I knew then what I know now, adopting a child during the middle of all that craziness, I I mean, I'm so glad that I didn't know.
I think I mean not having children, but seeing my brothers and sisters with their kids, I think if you if you do have the knowledge now,
You're not gonna do it.
there'd be zero population. No one would be having children.
It's
Um,
true.
but it was like I always thought of you as like, well, you still are this hunky hottie and the big
Oh,
muscle
go
guy,
on.
you know. Oh, go tell me more about my eye. But then you would be like, and you wanted to be. You had this sensitive mom side,
Yeah, that's
and you
true.
took this on, and I was just so impressed with you and how much you loved Leo, how much you still love him, even though you want to beat him sometimes. Now that he's a grown man.
Oh my God. Is he a grown man?
I don't
Because I
know.
wonder someday.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't put the fertilizer in the right place in the flower pot, but he's a good kid.
Oh my God, he's an amazing kid. He's an
So
amazing kid.
no, that's how I felt about you guys. I was just very impressed, and I don't know how Mike, the both of you did it when, you know, Voldemort was shutting down the servers and the
Yeah.
federal lawsuit, all this bullshit, and you guys just was like, okay, this is our living. We need to make this happen no matter what.
And I think that's what it was, right? We were just so in it that we just had to make it work.
You had to make it work. There
We
was
had to make it
no
work.
way you couldn't throw up your hands. I
No.
mean, how many
Mm-mm.
times have I told Mike, just give it up, forget it, it's done, and he'd be like, no, gotta. He's
Gotta,
always persevered that way. That's the way he is.
yeah.
So,
Well, I also wanted to talk to you about that. Well, actually, do you remember how we met?
how we met? Oh, from Mark Smith.
That's what I thought. Because
Yeah, it was via Mark Smith. Mark was always enamored with you. Should I sell? You can edit this out later.
I'm not editing that out. I thought it was Mark Smith. Mike thought it was through Ulysses, but I think you guys met Ulysses through me.
Yeah, no. We met you. You came down to visit. I think you drove down on your motorcycle to visit Mark or something. So we met you, and then you decided to move to LA. And when you did move to LA, you moved in with James. You were with James at the time. And
Actually, I moved to that loft in downtown first, and then I moved in with James like a few months after that.
yeah, something like that. And then
Yeah.
you were living with James, and then Ulysses came to a birthday party, or it was Ulysses' birthday party that he came to LA, and we met
Yeah.
him at that party at you
Yeah.
and James' that house you guys were living in.
It's so long ago.
I know.
Oh my
I
God.
can't remember what I had for breakfast, let alone. No, Jesus Christ. But yeah.
I, you and I have this incredible bond because one, we were such good friends, but we also have this bond of you going with me to pick up Leo at the Pomona Adoption Center.
Well, not only I remember when you called us, and I mean, I think you were offered a child before,
Yeah, I was. And I
and that one fell
panicked.
through
Yeah.
or something. So I don't know what happened, but it didn't
Yeah.
work. And then you got this 2 month old when you had told them you want a baby like 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah.
I think
And
you wanted them house trained. But I remember you got Leo. He was 2 months old, and you and I drove down to that the foster care woman,
yeah, the foster mom.
the foster mom, and
Yeah.
she was a little African American woman, and she must have had how many kids?
So sweet.
She was
Yeah.
very sweet, and I just can't imagine having that many kids in the house. I mean, she was fostering a bunch of children,
Yeah.
and
All
we took,
different ages. Yeah.
yeah, and you took that little bugger at 2 months old.
Yeah.
My
He was
goodness.
so cute. He was
Oh
such a
my,
cute kid.
oh, and then I mean, then Jeffrey became Bubba, and he like, oh my God, if Jeffrey had tits, he would have breastfed him. And Jeffrey would take him for daycare, and he'd be in the bar, the baby in the bar.
Baby in the bar.
We got a baby in the bar. But hey, we
He
all
loved it.
we all start somewhere.
Yeah.
Now he's got
Yeah.
now Leo has like a, a really awesome uncle.
He has a whole bunch of awesome
Yeah,
uncles.
I mean,
He,
and I talk about you often is that I find it so interesting and amazing is that your life before Leo was wonderful, but it was a different type of life. You were like
yeah.
living the whole gay lifestyle. You were,
Well, I was
the
living
gym,
it all right.
the gym bunny, the clubs, the parties, the sex, whatever. You were living the gay life and loving it, and you got Leo as a
Yeah.
single gay man,
Yeah.
and and from that is where you found love with Derek is like
Yeah.
amazing. Like you see these women or other people out there, and they're so afraid to like make this leap into having a child, and you not only leapt into having a child within what 2 years of you having Leo, you found love, and now
Yeah.
you're married to.
Well, I think that, I've talked, I don't know who, I've talked with everyone about this in a way, but before Leo came along, I struggled with what love was. After James, I got into therapy.
Probably good you needed it.
But
Oh,
it was through therapy that I learned that I wanted something different than what I was searching for out at these clubs and events and things like that. And I can remember the day that I made that decision that I was going to change my life, and it was at this dance party in Long Beach, and I was with Andrew Briskin,
oh,
and I was just looking out at this dance floor, and I was watching all these old guys, and I just thought, I this is not the life that I want.
there's got to be more than this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was when I took a different path. And
Oh,
I'll tell you, adopting Leo taught me that love is unconditional, but it's a different unconditional than what I had thought it was.
no,
Like
I'm sure. I
like
mean, you having Leo too, like, changed your relationship with your mom, um,
yes.
in great ways. I mean, I think when she passed on, she was so happy and so proud of the man you were, and the the young man that Leo
Well,
had become, and so such a blessing for her.
yeah,
Something. he never would have imagined was going to happen came true.
Yeah,
And it was only because he manifested it.
my relationship with my mother, we actually had a relationship because before that we had a relationship, but we weren't
It was,
close.
yeah, it wasn't that lovey-dovey kind of stuff, but
No, but once Leo came along, I saw her differently as well as especially as Leo grew and I
mhm.
experienced parenthood and realized, oh, wow.
I'm making a human here.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm so glad that she was able to have that grandparent experience.
oh, and she did. She
Yeah.
did. I mean, how long is she gone now?
She died in 2021, right before we moved here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so during the pandemic.
Yeah, towards the end, but it wasn't because of the pandemic.
No, no, no. Yeah. She'd
Yeah.
been sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all.
Um,
He was funny.
yeah.
Casey was a piece of work.
She was a great lady, actually.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you look just like her.
Oh, yes.
You do. You look a lot like her.
Yeah, I do. Are you okay talking about your young life coming out and
And being abused.
yeah, being abused?
Yeah.
I,
So, yeah, I mean, I was sexually abused from what I can remember. Probably, well, I lost my mom when I was 8 years old. So losing my mom at 8 years old from heart disease, heart attack on Mother's Day. Um, she'd been sick from how long I can remember, from as long as I can remember. I believe she had her first heart attack that I remembered from when I was like 3 years old. So these little milestones that seem like, how could you remember things when you're that young? But I think when you're faced with trauma,
mhm.
they're like little pins in your life that bring things to the forefront. So I can remember my brother Joe abusing me from a very young age. It was before I went to school. So I was 4 or 5
How
when
much
it
older?
started.
How much older was he?
He was he was 12 years older than I was. So
Okay.
I was 4, he was 16.
Wow.
So a
Wow.
fully grown man. And you know, for a long time going to therapy and everything, it was more about his abuse was, it sounds fucked up. His abuse was to me, well, to him, it was an act of control. Like his life was just totally out of control. Nobody really liked him. He couldn't make friends very easy. He was struggling. So, me being this little baby that, I mean, for God's sake, my parents made me sleep with them as a little baby. I was 4 or 5. I was sleeping with my oldest brother. But, this is the 60s. So who the fuck knows?
Right.
But he abused me, but it was more of him just being loving. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean, I could be graphic, can I? Or should I
Yeah.
not?
No, go ahead.
I mean, it was mostly me just sucking them off, like sucking his dick and playing with his balls. But who the fuck what the hell did I know I was doing? I mean, sometimes when he climaxed, I'd throw up because it'd be gross. Like I thought he peed on me or something. I didn't know what
Wow.
happened, but and it went on for a long time. The last time I can remember, I must have been at least 14 or 15 myself.
Oh my God. That's 10
Yeah,
years.
10 years about. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't remember all the instances of it, but it was whenever he could get me alone. He'd be like, well, come watch TV with me or come lay down by me or whatever. And, you know, hey, it felt fucking good. I don't know. I mean, it was, I knew it was wrong. It wasn't, but to me, I didn't know right from wrong, wrong from right, gay sex from being gay to being straight or whatever. None of it really made any sense. So I struggled with it. It really caused a lot of pain for me, an identity crisis. So, well, Joe would just kind of always be touching me inappropriately. My brother was inappropriate to the day he died. I mean, in the end, I confronted him. I called him out on his shit. I exposed his abuse. I stood up for who I was. I think that abuse and that trauma held me back a lot, changed my life, but in other ways, it made me the person I am. I'm compassionate. I'm loving. I'm a good listener. I know when things get a little icky, I'm able to deal with it.
You're also a great advocate for people.
I
You
try.
you will stand up for people at the drop of a hat.
Well, thanks for
I,
saying that. I do try. And it's kind of an effort. Makes an effort. I do make an effort to do the right thing.
yeah,
And I could, in a positive way, I can say I can thank him for that. I don't know why I would thank him for it, but my older brother George passed away, God, like 10 or 11 years ago. And he was always like the big brother for me. He was the captain of the football team, the good looking guy, had all the girlfriends in the world, everything. And he always, always, always advocated for me. And I don't know whether George, he didn't know what was going on. But he knew later on in life, and he stood up to my father, because that's all I had left was my father, and was like, what the hell's wrong with you? How did you let this go on when you had knowledge of it going on in your own house? Like,
your father knew it was going on.
he in the end he said, well, I always thought it was weird. Like, he always thought Joey was right. I said, why did you just leave me there?
Oh my
And
God,
he's like,
Rich!
well,
I'm so
it,
sorry.
it was no, but it was like, to my father, again, it's that whole mindset and that time of the 70s where you don't talk about that shit. I mean, I think abuse happens far more than we talk about. And unless
Mhm.
people start talking about it, it breaks down that wall of fear and self-loathing and dirty. And we're so in our society, we're so able to accept violence. Like, violence is fine. You can watch zombies getting blown up and everything, but God forbid someone sees a penis or a vagina, it's like the end of the world. Like,
Right, right.
what kind of bullshit is that? I mean, we all have genitals, but it's like violence is better than sex. I'm like, well, at least sex is freaking natural.
Right. Well, the reason I wanted to bring it up with both you and Mike is because there are a lot of young people, especially young gay people, LGBTQ people,
Hmm.
who are abused
Oh,
and
totally.
by family.
Yeah, mostly family members.
Yeah.
And nowadays, in our current political bullshit, under the Trump maggot stupid ass people, um, they're going after trans people,
Yeah.
and which is just horrible. I mean, why? I guess they go for the weak.
Right. And it deflects from the things that they're doing.
Oh, of course, yeah, they're
Yeah.
just the worst.
Yeah.
Um, but those were my experiences. I mean, and when I fully came out about my sexuality, my father, at the time when I told him I came out, he was like, "Well, can we keep it like just between in the family?" And I was like, "No, no. I've lived in this closet too long." I said, "Either you're in 100% or you're out 100%." And at that time, all my brothers and sisters, the four of them, I'm the youngest of five. The other four all told him the same thing: is if you don't accept Richie, you're the one who's going to lose. You're going to lose us.
Well,
So it was
that's
really
cool
cool.
that
Yeah,
your
it was really cool.
siblings had your back.
Yeah, and I came out to my I told my about my brother's abuse with him, and it was difficult. And my older brother passed away. My brother George died before my oldest brother Joe. And when Joey had gotten sick. He always had, my both brothers had coronary artery disease, as do I, and I think we'll get to that in a minute. But
Mhm.
when Joe was really sick, he was fully diabetic in the end. He was only 65 when he passed away, but he was fully diabetic, and his wife had died 9 months before he died. And he asked me to come home from California and to help him die in hospice. And I was like, one of the hardest things I had to do. And he's like, even if you hate me, even if you hate me, please do it for my kids. So they have you here. Um, and I did. And, you know, it took him like a month to die. But we laughed through it. I mean, we'd make jokes about Joey dying. And my brother Joe would, joke with his kids, with us, and try and make it as painless as possible. And in the end, you know, we're giving me and his son, or me and his son and his daughter are there at the last few days of Joe's life. And we're supposed to give him 2 or 3 drops of morphine. So it was 1, 2, 3 for him, 2, 3, 4 for us. Oh, and then, well, no, just another funny story, because it's like we just went through. I got this sadness. I had to tell you one funny story. So my brother was, he's in respiratory distress. We had him on oxygen, and so he's finally sleeping. Like, we got him to get to bed, and he's sleeping. It was like, because he hadn't been sleeping, and it's like really hard because people get really anxious when they're dying. Their anxiety levels through the roof.
Mhm.
So he was finally sleeping. So I was in the room meditating next to him and just like doing breathing exercises. And my sister walks in and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "I don't know. It seems like I'm meditating, and when I'm breathing, his breathing calms down. So it seems to work." She goes, "You're full of shit." She goes, "We need to pray." I was like, "Look, I don't give a shit. My meditation's working. If you're going to pray, just keep it to yourself." So she's on the other side of bed praying, on her knees praying, "Oh God," all this shit. And she goes, "I think he's dead." I'm like, "Why do you think he's dead?" She goes, "I don't think he's breathing anymore." So my sister
I don't
Beverly,
mean to laugh.
my sister Beverly, being as crazy as my sister is, literally got out her compact for her face and puts the mirror under his nose. And I'm like, "Bev, it's not the 14th century." So we start laughing while she's got the compact under his nose. And my brother Joe wakes up and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she's like, "We thought you were dead." He goes, "I know, you almost fucking killed me. You scared the living shit out of me. Get the fuck out of my room." But that's just how our family was, crazy as we are.
How was that? I mean, that I think says a lot about you to show up for this person who I don't know how else to say it. I mean, caused a lot of pain in you.
I It's my love, my heart, and I love my nieces and nephews. And
Mhm.
so it wasn't about him. It was about me closing that chapter off in my life. I had to have that closure.
Mm. I can see that.
Um,
Yeah.
so it did help. And it meant the world to both my niece and nephew. Um, they adore me, I adore them. My nephew Anthony has 2 children and a beautiful wife. He's, I think, like 12 or 13 years sober. My niece Natalie has a daughter, and her and her husband, they had it with the United States, and they moved to Amsterdam. So
Oh, that's cool.
they live in the Netherlands. So they're really happy. They're really good people. I mean, I have so many nieces and nephews. On my side alone, from my brothers and sisters, I have 10 nieces and nephews, and
Wow.
now I have 13 great nieces and nephews.
Did you come out in your teens?
No. I came out. Well, I was. I could have come out in my teens. I was gay, um, but I always, my father sent me to different shrinks, and at that time, we're still talking like the late 70s, early 80s. So they were still doing conversion therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And my therapist did work on me to do some sort of conversion therapy. Um, and I did meet a girl who I did fall in love with, and we were going to get married, but I didn't come out until I was 22, 23.
Is that when you moved to LA?
Yeah, I came out in New Jersey. I was
Okay.
out when I lived in New Jersey. I was working in New York, and I was successful. I mean, I never went to college. I worked with my father and real estate and insurance, and then his broker hooked me up with a job in New York. I had bought my first house when I was 19 years old.
Oh,
Um,
wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then I owned a condo in Jersey City, and I was working in New York, and I was doing really well, and we were going to get married, but then I always knew I was gay. I mean, especially when I started working in New York, coming home on the PATH train, stopping at Christopher Street, and having sex in the subway.
That's kind of a hint.
Oops.
Just a little hint.
Yeah. Sucking dick in the subway, having three ways on the platform was, but that was the times then. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know how I made it through without getting HIV back then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
the pills were still there. I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So, but then, well, I came out, and the weird thing about me coming out is when I came out and I was coming out, my fiance Angela at the time, her mother, the poor woman, had gotten a blood transfusion in like 1986 and contracted HIV/AIDS, and ended
Oh,
up.
wow.
She's a sweet Italian American woman, and she passed away from AIDS, and she died the week. So sorry, I'm not Catholic, so but she died the week before I was moving to California, and so I had to go to the funeral. It's a big Italian. I mean, Italian New Jersey. I mean, North Jersey. It was like The Godfather.
The mafia.
Oh, oh my God! And I had to tell my father, my dad, you got to come to the funeral with me. He's like, "There's no way I'm doing that." I said, "Dad, you got to do it." He's like, "Okay, we're gonna do this." So I went to the funeral with my dad. I got to you got to go up and do your thing, like say a prayer at the. So my father went up and prayed with the coffin, open casket, the whole 9 yards. And I came back to pay my respects to the family. And Angela's grandmother stood up and smacked me across. And
Oh my
my
God.
father turns to me. He's like, "We gotta go now." So we got out of the funeral home, and he's like, "Where's the closest bar? We need a drink." So we went out for a scotch, and
Oh my God.
but life is weird.
It is weird.
Uh,
That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast, is because
oh yeah,
life is so weird.
it
And
is totally weird. And the good thing about it is, like, I think these podcasts and being being as forthright or whatever the freaking word is now that I'm 61 years old, I don't remember shit. Is I think it's important to get these life experiences out there that
Yes.
people makes people feel more comfortable about talking about their own situation or life or whatever. It's
Yeah.
important.
I also feel that during this time that we're going through where people are being shut down for who they are, I'm really concerned about upcoming pride events and things like
Oh
that
yeah. Oh,
because
me as well. I'm scared.
yeah,
I'm very concerned. And
but
I don't think anybody should live in that type of fear. And our community always has been under attack. And I mean, we survived the plague of
yeah,
AIDS. And nowadays, as we're older men, older gay men now, and the weird thing is like these young kids are like into daddies. I'm like, why? I'm bald and fat. I'm like, but they want their daddy. We didn't have daddies. All our daddies were dead.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But
Oh,
but that's the thing. Like I want young people to see that there are older gay people out here, or just gay people, queer people who have made it, who are successful, who
yeah.
are happy and doing their life and being productive, and
Yeah.
no one's telling them. Because I'm telling you what, right now, I'm not going back in a closet. I'm
Oh
not
no,
going back in a closet for no one. Oh, look,
no.
a little thumbs up just appeared on my screen.
I like a thumbs up.
um,
Um,
and
so go ahead.
no,
You're
I was just gonna say, I just want young people to know that don't don't let fear keep you from being you.
yeah, exactly. No, and it it's really I think in the LGBTQ plus community, we are the largest suicide rate in the country, um, which is awful. And
Mm-hmm.
having just survived losing one of my best friends to suicide is just awful. But it is an illness. The depression is real. Um, Mental illness is it's awful.
Well, and
It's
loneliness right now
oh,
is through the roof.
it's just awful. And we got to get rid of the stigma of mental illness and
Mm-hmm.
that people have it, people suffer with it. It's survivable. Get help,
Mm-hmm.
reach out, find somebody, talk to anybody. Don't take your life.
No, I just read this other statistic. This is a little off topic, but well, I guess it's not off topic. That divorce rates are lowest among gay men.
Really?
Yeah, it's high. It's highest among lesbians.
Oh, we need our sisters. They helped us
uh,
out.
I love lesbians.
I do too.
Yeah.
My niece is a lesbian.
Hey,
So
it's always good to have somebody who will haul the
I have,
refrigerator in or
I
move
have
the furniture around.
exactly. And she loves doing handyman work. But no, Lauren's gay, and my nephew George is gay. So I got two. So we're in the 20 percentile. So 2 out of 10.
How are you doing now? How are you?
Me mentally, I'm okay. I mean, I just suffered a loss. Our best friend he commits suicide, so that's a little rough to handle. But as you know, I got my brother George passed away in 2014, and I seroconverted sometime that year, and I found out I was HIV positive in January of 2015. So it's 10 years now. I've been living with HIV,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm undetectable, and you know everything's fine. The only shitty thing is my heart's fucked up. So I had a stent. Yeah, my first stent was in 2019, and then I had my second stent in 2021, And then I had myself, I recognized the signs. I never had a heart attack, but I had unstable angina, and I ended up having to have open heart surgery in like 6 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that was no
Wow.
fun. Hurt like a motherfucker. And from that, it's like they they went in through my side, not like here. So I have neuropathy all in my chest. So I'm not as active as I could be or should be, but I do the best I can. My health
Mhm.
isn't the greatest, but um, hey, one day at a time. Keep moving, living. Um, Mike and I are now retired. I retired early because I was sick. But we made a lot of good decisions in our life, so we're able to afford to retire early, and we're traveling, and we're going on a 3-week cruise next week. So,
A
hey,
Viking cruise, right?
it's a Viking cruise.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a Viking in our room.
They put one in your room.
I hope so. You can't eat just one.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, I've been blessed, fortunate to have money and success, and we have a place in Puerto Vallarta that we go to often, and so life is good. It's just you. My sister always says you can't have it all. I think you can. You just gotta accept the things you cannot change.
Well, you have to decide what all is for you, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
everybody's all is a lot different.
Yeah.
When when we got our first house together, Mike and I got our first house together. I always wanted a house on a hill and a really big door that when it closed, you heard it through the whole house. And granted, it wasn't a big castle that I imagined it to be, but it ended up being a great home. You've been there many, many times.
Well, and it was
And
on a hill.
it wasn't it wasn't a hill. You didn't want to park in that driveway.
No, you did not. That was a
Oh,
great little house.
I know. It's so
Yeah.
many great memories there.
Yeah.
Now we're out in the desert and we have great memories here.
Yeah.
Granted, with far less clothes on, but
Well, that's the whole point of being in the desert.
I swear to God, I always say if you're not going to a pool party naked, it's not a party.
Because of your health and what your brothers went through, what are your thoughts about death?
Oh, it's gonna come.
Are you scared of it?
No, I'm not. I'm only thing I'm really scared about, and what I shouldn't say scared is I feel bad in the knowledge that there's a huge percentage that I'll go before Mike, and to leave him alone.
Mm.
That bugs the shit out of me. And to see what I'll leave behind is just, it's a blessing right now to be loved and, honored and loved and all. But I, I don't want to imagine Mike's pain of not having me around, even though I'm a pain in the ass, but we do laugh a lot.
You do.
So,
That's the one thing I loved about your relationship is that you two, even though you bicker, you laugh
yeah.
hysterically, and the even the bickering is not like, it's not arguing and it's not like being mean. It's just love.
Yeah. No, we do. And it is cool. We're very fortunate and we do get
Yeah.
along. I drive him crazy.
Do you want to talk more about your health?
We did pretty well with the mental health part.
And come to the conclusion that you've got a lot going on up there.
It's busy.
Well, I guess I want to ask you too about who you were when you were young and coming out and who you are now. When you look back, do you think that person would really like the person that you've become?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I think, I think all my fears about what it'd be like to be gay, now when I think about being gay and I'm like, I see all my friends and all my social circle, I say it all the time. I'm like, aren't you thrilled you're gay? Like, such a great life. We have friends, we have chosen family. Our chosen family relationships are so dynamic and so strong.
Hmm.
Um, it's like all the good of the what a nuclear family stuff without all the baggage. You don't. If someone's getting on your nerves, you don't have to really deal with them. You
You
just
move
kind of like,
on.
you did move on to
Yeah.
let
It-
I got no time for this shit.
yeah.
And I think that's a cool thing. I'm really I'm proud of the gay man I've become. I'm happy, um, and I am. I'm like I'm socially well, extremely wealthy. There's a lot of positive things that have made me who I am. I mean, but the fears that I had as a young kid never came to fruition.
Hmm.
No, and like that, there was always that. There was on the internet years ago was it gets better.
Yeah. I
It does
remember
get
that. It does get better.
it does get better, and I think young people need to know it gets better, even for straight people.
Y- Yeah. And I agree with you. Like the fears that you have as a young person, because there's no way I could have looked forward and see the person that I am now from
No,
who I
no.
was then.
Can you imagine? I mean, you being the young kid in Las Vegas, for God's sake,
Yeah.
and seeing you now as a married dad with a kid,
Yeah. I just never thought that was
with a grown son on
with it.
top of it, not just a baby, a
Yeah.
grown, full on man.
I know I still can't believe he just turned 20 years old.
Oh
That
my God.
And I was telling him because Leo and I go for walks every day with Lily, our dog. And I was telling him, I said, I know for you, it was a long time coming. I said, but for me, when I look at you, it's like just last year, you were that little kid with the hula hoop,
Oh,
out in the front yard.
but
I
we
mean,
have pictures of him in our backyard in LA, and I guess he was just starting to walk because he's not even as tall as the dogs. The dogs are bigger than he was. Oh, oh
yeah,
God.
that was a great journey. And I'm glad I had that opportunity.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
You changed a lot of lives. I mean, everybody's happy for you. I mean, God, I still remember that. Um, what you call it? You had a baby shower. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God, that's right. At your house.
No, and all those how many guys came to that?
Oh my God. And all those, and that stack of gifts.
Oh, that was from Tim Newman.
Yeah, he has stacked them up,
Yep, he made a
and
huge thing, Tim Newman, and he's dead.
yeah, it's
Poor
sad.
guy, cancer. But no, I mean the young person I was, I think I'm socially still the same person. I still have my social circle from when I was in high school. I'm still friends with them. I still keep in touch with them. Um, I'm still close with my cousins and stuff, and I go to Florida when I don't have to put up with maggots.
Ugh, yeah.
So, but other than that, all good.
What brings you joy these days?
Seeing Mike happy, going
Oh,
on vacation, seeing things together, a good meal with friends, a good card game with friends, hanging out, relaxing, enjoying our life. Like yesterday, Mike and I went out to the outlet malls here in Palm Springs, well, in Morongo. And then after that, we went to a Desert X exhibit. Um,
oh, is that the pictures that you posted on
yeah, yeah.
Instagram?
It was a really cool exhibit, but it's like, I was saying to Mike, it's like it's a Wednesday afternoon and we're retired and we don't have to worry about going to work tomorrow. And it's kind of nice, There's a lot of good things to that. I mean,
Yeah,
granted, I wish my health was better.
yeah,
Um, I wish I could improve it easily, but it's not. But there's no silver bullet. And like my sister says, you can't get everything. So just keep trying.
yeah.
You can try to get everything, but just don't step on people in the meantime.
One of the things I love about Palm Springs, not to just sort of move, um, let me start that over. You had mentioned going to Desert X, and one of the things that I absolutely love about Palm Springs is the access to art, public art in this
Oh yeah.
town. It is the amount of art is crazy. For one, it's everywhere.
No, it's
Um,
it's very pro, prolific. Like a lot of our friends are artists. Um, but it is very cool. And people, I think what it is about Palm Springs is, and being here in the desert is you're able to express yourself and people are able to open up and not feel judged, or whatever. I mean, look at how people, guys out here in Palm Springs, the colors of their clothes. Everybody's like, I mean, we're all not black
I
t-shirts.
know we're in black in Palm Springs. We're wearing black, and it's 100 degrees outside right now, I think.
Exactly. But people are just happy to be self-expressive, either with their personalities or, in their painting, their writing, some way to express themselves that this environment and where we are gives them that license to feel that freedom, which
Yeah.
we maybe it's because we were so repressed as youngsters, coming up, we didn't feel that way that we can express ourselves. um I mean, I think you expressed yourself a lot in your media when you worked in graphic design and web design, and I mean your body art.
Yeah. And, you know, we're at a point in our lives, at least I'll speak for myself, turning 60, I don't know, something changed. I just feel freer. I don't even know how to express it. I just
I
feel,
get what you're saying. I mean, it is. Well, it's not like, it's not that, like, being 60 is like I don't have to prove anything to anybody anymore. Maybe
yeah,
that
maybe that's what it is.
is
You
like I'm
don't,
my own person. I
yeah,
do I do stuff for me or things
we're,
that I like to do.
yeah, not wrapped up in the judgment of others.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good,
I think
all
that,
good stuff.
yeah. And my friend Jeff said, you come to Palm Springs, it just allows you to try new things.
Yeah, nobody's gonna worry about it, or you
Yeah,
know, everybody does their own thing. They're all doing. I mean, a lot of our friends are artists as well, and they're all very successful and happy. And
yeah.
so
It is not what I thought. It is not what I thought Palm Springs would be about.
I never saw you guys move into the desert.
No, I never saw it either.
No, I mean, especially your wonderful, your how much you loved Vegas. I was like, he's never coming to the fucking desert.
I just my friend Julie is going to come on. We met in high school. We were high school sweethearts,
Oh,
and I'm going to have her on next week.
oh, cool.
And we every now and then we'll talk about when we get together. We talk about Vegas, and I mean, I hated living there.
I just remember didn't you work at a department store?
I worked at several department stores.
You were a floor walker.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's where my high school years were spent. So
yeah, not a
yeah,
bad thing. Mine was doing drugs.
that was my 30s.
No, I started young, so I had to, like, by that time I didn't become addicted. Now I'm only an alcoholic. So,
Well, I appreciate you coming on and spending an hour with me. But before I
oh,
let you go,
no, we can keep going if you want.
you want to? I have a list of 40 questions. I'm trying to
Yeah.
create this section at the end of these conversations, and I still haven't come up with a name for this. But I have a list of 40 questions.
I'm
You
going to
give
answer all
you
40.
no. Yes, you have to answer all 40 before I let you go.
Well, I need a number two pencil.
Give me a number.
11.
If the closet is a metaphor, what's the metaphor for coming out? What? If the closet is a metaphor, What's the metaphor for coming out?
Hmm.
Does that question even make sense?
No. If the closet's a metaphor for being. Wait.
That's
The closet.
for
If the closet is a metaphor for coming out. No,
for being for hiding
for hiding.
for hiding who you are. Okay, I get that.
Okay. What's the coming out?
Yeah. What's the metaphor for coming out? Isn't that throwing the door open?
Or my closet would have just been a changing room.
And oddly, it had a revolving door on it.
I don't know why. And why do my knees hurt?
I don't like that question. Give me another number.
Okay. 4.
Where was the last place you went camping?
Camping. Oh, Joshua Tree. But that's boring.
Derek and I went, gosh, it's been a couple months now, to a glamping at this place in Joshua Tree.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was actually pretty
Is it
cool. Although I
one of
didn't.
those Airstreams?
No, it was a yurt. I
Oh,
did.
wow.
What I didn't like though is that it was a shared bathroom and it was not close at all to our yurt.
Oh, you had to poop
Yeah, you
in
had to
public?
take a hike basically to
Oh.
get to it.
No.
Yeah, no.
Although when we went camping, we'd go out to Joshua Tree and there was no water.
Oh,
So there was just a latrine.
oh no. Mm-mm.
Oh, no. The first couple of times I did it, I ate Imodium every day. So by the time I got back to LA, I literally shit a brick. Okay, one more question. Okay, we'll do 9.
Can you be your truest self in a world that's constantly telling you who you should be?
Always. That's who I am now.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't like, some people, could you turn it down a little? And I don't know where my off switch is, or, I always say I never knew where the line was. Is if it was there, I know I was going to cross it anyway. So why not just cross the line and live with the consequence?
Yeah, but this is the one thing I love about you is that, well, not just the one thing, but one of many things I love about you is that are you. You for
Yeah.
as long as I've known you, you have always just been you. People like it, great. People don't like it, fuck them.
On somebody else. I'm over you.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
And
I like that about myself too. I think, it always makes me, what I find so weird, especially in a lot of social situations, and a lot of people nowadays, even guys our age are being social, have a lot of social anxiety. I'm the type of person, I know when I'm going into a situation where I might feel socially awkward, I know that I need to walk into that room wide-eyed and smile. Just smile. I think it's a big thing. Like people, I think living in this whole digital age, we don't know how to socialize like we used to. And there are social clues that are true. I mean, folding your arms like this, nobody's going to want to fucking talk to you,
right.
So express yourself, carry yourself, put straight back, look into people's eyes and smile. It doesn't hurt. And it just makes things open up more. And I'll always go talk to anybody. I'll see somebody sitting at a bar all sad, no matter what their body type is or what they are. I'll be like, what's going on? Come on, you're in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Have some fun. Get a drink. Kill that bug up your ass. But those are important things. I think we lost that. People are so afraid of failure or being judged or not liked, or who gives a shit? Why worry about what other people think?
Yep. thank you very much for
Thank
spending
you.
this hour with me.
I really appreciate the time. It was really fun talking to you.
Yes,
I
it
was nervous
was.
before, but I don't,
Yeah.
that's gone. All
Well,
good things.
yeah, I'll have
David.
you back.
All right. You take
I
care of
liked it.
yourself.
I'll have you back.
We could talk about sad things and laugh at them.
Okay. All right. I love you.
This sums up to you. We love you too, David.
Well, there you have it. That was my conversation with my friend Rich Hajjar. Rich is a survivor, a loud laugher, a huge heart, and a fighter. Someone who reminds us that showing up as yourself, scars, laughter, and all, is where the real stuff is. If this episode brought some stuff up for you, and if you're struggling with anything, grief, trauma, loneliness, or just feeling stuck, there's help and there's hope. You are not alone. There are a few resources that I will list in the show notes. The Trevor Project. You can call or text 1-866-488-7386. It's 24/7, and it is a great support for LGBTQ youth. There is RAINN, RAINN.org, or call 800-656-HOPE. And last is the 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline. Call or text 988 anytime. If you like this episode, please leave me a review because it really does help. You can always find me on Blue Sky and Substack at David Bigor. I'd really love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to Friends, Loves, and Life. I'm David Bigor. Until next time, be bold, be free, be you.